Hi everyone, this is Ali. For my presentation, I chose the axis deer. So where did these deer originate from? The chital's natural environment is forests in India or wetlands. They're social animals and are always found in larger herds. And when there is danger, they tend to run in packs instead of dispersing like other deer. They're nocturnal, so they forage at night and hide very well, and they usually rest once the sun begins to rise. They are grazers and browsers, which is why they are causing so much problems for our environment. They will eat anything green. Let's get into their taxonomy. The species is Axis axis. The genus is Axis. The family is Cervidae. The order is Artiodactyla. The class is Mammalia. And the phylum is Chordata. Right, and let's go ahead and take a look at their life stages. So they start off as cute little fawns. They grow into yearlings, and then depending on the gender, if it's a male, it'll be a buck, and if it's a female, it'll be a doe. From there, they reproduce, and then they go right back into that life cycle. All right, and then I want to talk about a few evolutionary factors. In India, the axis deer had many predators, such as snakes, wolves, tigers, etc. So because they had so many predators, they evolved to breed all year round. Unfortunately, in Hawaii, they have no predators to control their population, so their numbers have reached an all-time high, which we will get into later. And then I included more of a fun fact in here. So the deer have actually learned to recognize other animals' alerts. In India, they have a relationship with langurs. Langurs will throw down fruit and warn the deer of danger, which I found really interesting, and I think it just goes to show how smart the deer is. And then the last factor is they have a high adaptability, so they can actually adjust their eating habits and schedules to that of their predators or hunters here. All right, and then next we can go on to the species, and it's an invasive species. So the Cervidae species can be found in Hawaii on 3 different islands. They can be found on Big Island, Maui, and Molokai. In Maui, there are over 60,000 deer alone, and they were introduced in the late 1860s, which I will talk about later. So here's a few of the limited resources that they are impacting. They're impacting trees, plants, and ranches and farms. So the destruction to the land they're causing is to the native ohia tree. This sacred tree has been unable to heal itself from its open wounds due to the deer eating the bark. Healing itself is essential to blocking fungus growth, which is causing the extinction. Number 2 is forest degradation. Plants have been unable to regrow, and trees are losing their green. And then the last one that I listed was agricultural farms and ranches. Farmers and ranchers alike have had higher costs associated to deer damage and having to pay more to maintain pastures for livestock. And then how they got to the state of Hawaii. So in the 1860s, King Kamehameha V was gifted 8 chitals by a Raja of India. The deer would come to call Molokai home. In the 1960s, the deer began to appear on Maui and Lanai. As their population grew, so did the destruction that we talked about earlier. So it was really the gift that kept on giving. While it started with only 8 deer, this unique gift was everlasting. But like most things, too much of one thing can't be good. The chital population has reached over 100,000 across the islands where they can be found. And that was all. Thank you for watching my presentation.